Dear chess friends, welcome at the Royal Chess Channel. My name is Manik. I am Grandmaster from Slovakia. I want to show you game between Nepomniachtchi and Firouzja. It's candidates tournament second round. It was Spanish Berlin. Now white played d3. There are many possibilities here. For example, castle, knight takes e4, rook e1. Knight is hanging on e4. Knight d6, knight takes e5. Bishop e7, bishop f1. Knight f5. Knight takes c6 is nothing. c3. And this position is equal. Also possible is knight takes e4, d4, knight d6, d takes e5, knight takes b5, a4, knight is hanging, knight d4, knight takes d4, knight takes d4, queen takes d4, d5. And this position is draw. Also interesting is after a4, d6, white can play e6. And this position is unclear. Okay, let's go back to the game. At the game happened bishop c5, d3, bishop c5, c3, castle, castle, d5. Question is, what can white do now? White play e takes d5. Possible was bishop takes c6, d takes c6, knight takes e5, threatening knight takes c6, but black have very good compensation for a pawn. For example, d takes e4, d takes e4 is nothing because he just changed the queens, and very good position because f2 is weak. Black is okay. Okay, d4, bishop d6, knight takes c6, queen is hanging, queen e8, knight takes e5. And this position is equal. Black had many threats, for example, knight g4. Okay, let's go back to the game. E takes d5, queen takes d5, bishop c4. Now black played queen d8. Also possible is queen d6, d4, knight d2, bishop f5, d3 pawn is hanging, queen c2, a4. Idea is a5, so impossible is bishop takes d3 because now black will lose the bishop. So this position is equal. Okay, at the game happened queen d8, b4, bishop b7, knight d2, a6, a4, bishop f5, pawn is hanging, queen c2, knight d5, knight e4, bishop g4. What can white do now is the question. Knight fd2 is not very good because black has simple move, knight f4, threatening bishop e2, pawn on d3 is very weak. But now white play interesting move, queen a2. Knight is hanging, and after knight b6, white play bishop b3, sacrifice pawn. Black played bishop takes f3, g takes f3, queen takes d3, f3, d3. Now it's white is spun down, but two bishops and attack. Okay, white play queen king g2, queen d7, rook d1, queen e8. Now black is planning king h8 and f5. But now white play very interesting move h4. What is the idea of h4? Idea is knight g5, also h5, h6, attack. Possible was f4, but after rook d8, black a simple plan, change pieces because he spun up, so this position. But black has compensation for a pawn, so bishop takes b4, knight is hanging on e4, but this position is also unclear. Okay, let's go back to the game. h4, of course, bad is bishop takes h4 because rook h1, queen e7, bishop e3, and threatening bishop c5. I think black has no moves. This is winning. Okay, so black play knight c8, h5, king h8, h6, g5. Strong move. Black wants f5. So what can white do? White play queen d2. Also possible is rook g1, knight d6, knight takes d6, c takes d6, king f1, g5 is hanging, but after f6, this is unclear. Black is spun up, but white has two bishops and compensation for the material. For example, queen takes h6, king e2, planning rook h1, bishop e4, and h7 is weak. Okay, the game happened queen d2, knight d6, bishop b2, knight f5. Mistake. Better was simple f6 and, for example, b5, knight a5, bishop is hanging on b3. And this position is a little better for black. Because after knight f5, white played queen d7, and now c7 is hanging. And this position, little better for white, but playable for black. Okay, f5, knight is hanging. Knight g3, knight takes f3. b5, knight is hanging. What can black do? Black play f4, attacking the knight. White play knight e4. Also, this is not very good because black just take on g3 and should be okay for black. But white play knight e4, and after knight a5, bishop e6. What can black do now? Black play g6. Very big mistake, probably losing the game. But okay was g4, and this position, threatening bishop takes e5. But after queen g6, should be okay for black because now it's threat bishop f7 or bishop f5 because rook is hanging, but after g2 check, king e2, queen takes h6, I think this is equal. Okay, let's go back to the game. Queen g6. Queen takes e7, queen takes h6, h6. Bishop f7. Check, king e2, queen f5. Queen g4 doesn't work because queen f6 mate. Queen f5. White is winning, but position is very complicated. Okay, bishop d5, rook e8, queen takes c7, queen g4, king d3, rook d8. Bishop is hanging, so white play logical c4. Take queen h3. Okay, possible was knight takes c4, queen takes c4, rook c8. But white, queen is hanging, but white have simple move, knight c5. And this position should be winning because he's threatening bishop takes e5. Take, and should be winning because f3 check, he just changed the queens and is winning. Okay, the game happened. Rook takes d5, c takes d5, queen h3, threatening knight d4 check. Now I play knight g3, but it's winning move, but better was rook a3. For example, rook c8, rook h1. And this is winning because knight is hanging, and for example, g4, rook takes f3, and bishop takes e5. Okay, the game happened. Knight g3, knight takes c4, queen takes c4, f takes g3, f takes g3. Now black play rook c8. Possible was queen takes g3, but after king c2 should be winning. Because after check, white can just play king b3, and also this position is winning. Check, check, mate. Okay, the game happened. Rook c8, rook h1, queen d7, queen e4, king g8. For example, queen takes b5 is king e3, check. And this is winning. Because this is impossible because mate. And the game happened, king e3, knight d4. And now black resigned because white is rook up and is winning. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you again. Bye.